What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB here today with the review for The Haves and Have Nots. This is season 7, episode number 3, and it's titled Pray to Me. Pray to me, I wish. But you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into this video and talk about it. Alright, you guys, so I had to readjust my camera because it looked like my head was kind of cut off just a little bit there. But let's start with this episode up. So it picks up where last week's episode left off with George arresting Katherine for the murder of Jennifer Salison. And Katherine is all, George is telling her she can, remain. Katherine should have learned the art of remaining silent. You said your dad was a judge. Shut your fucking mouth. So, Katherine is just talking about, George is going to regret what he's doing. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to regret what he's doing because your dumbass husband, Jim, kind of got you in the situation. And George let her know that. He said, why would George, have my assistant try to steal evidence in, Jennifer Salison's murder? Now, the thing is, when it came to Jennifer Salison's murder, I know Katherine was a badass trying to scare the shit out of Veronica, which she did. But damn, the fact that she just sat there and shot the bitch, pop, 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 pop. No. But, yeah, and Hannah's telling Veronica, not Veronica, but Katherine, Katherine, calm down, shut up. And, she's just still telling George that, oh, you're going to regret this, da-da-da-da. I'm like, I don't know about that, Katherine. And, he asked her why was Jim having his assistant try to steal the evidence. She said, why don't you ask Jim if he's alive? I pray that Jim is dead. I hope Jim is dead. I know Jim is probably not dead. But I would just love for Jim to be dead. So then we see that they escort Katherine out of the house. And who is still in the back of the police car? High-ass Wyatt. And the fact that Wyatt called his mama a fucking bitch, I was like, damn. And, he's asking why she been arrested. And, George tells her she's been arrested for the murder of Jennifer Salison. And, he's, Wyatt is over there laughing. And, then he told her he let her live tonight. So, he's her God. I'm like, oh, wow. So Wyatt has a high God complex tonight. Interesting. Wyatt. I wish Wyatt, just like with Katherine, learned the art of shut the fuck up. So, he saw Hannah, he's talking to Hannah, and he asked Hannah to pray for him. He says, you know what, better yet, Hannah, pray to me. I'm like, oh, Wyatt done lost his fucking mind tonight, hasn't he? So he says, he was God to Katherine, he let her live, but he went down there and shot Jim and killed him. I'm like, I don't know if you killed the bastard, but I wish you did kill the bastard, unfortunately. So he tells her, she and Benny should be happy. And she's like, what are you talking about, me and Benny should be happy? He says, because my dad's going to have Benny kidnapped behind his $8 million from Candace. So then, Wyatt is just on some other shit at this point. So then, Katherine goes, not Katherine, but Hannah goes back into the house and she calls Benny. It's going to Benny's voicemail. And, she goes up to George and tells George that, I know what's going on. So what it is that, Benny's sister, I'm like, Benny's sister? Last time I checked, Hannah, Benny's sister was your daughter as well. So what the fuck, Benny's sister? But she's telling him the situation that Candace came into the $8 million and that, she was going to give it back to Jim. So that's why Jim is trying to, kidnap Benny. So, like I said, she's calling Benny. So then she calls Candace and she asks Candace if she knows where Benny is. And Candace says, well, Benny went out with Mitch, so, he should be fine. And we all know how Hannah is when it comes to Benny. She's freaking the fuck out. So then, Candace is asking, so she's telling her, how's everything over there? And then she asked her, how was Jim? And she's like, why are you asking me about Jim? And I'm like, why are you asking about Jim? After all the shit that Jim Cryer has done to you, you asking about Jim? Okay. But she says, and like I said, Candace says, as long as Benny is with Mitch, Benny's good. Because he's a Malone. If they can get Benny away from Mitch, then they're good. So, that's going to be the caveat right there. But let's move on, you guys. Let's talk about Charles. So, Charles, he's still in Detroit. So he has his phone, and he got Candace's number on the phone. I'm like, oh, you miss your Candace, huh? Even though, you didn't treat her all that so well when that whole shit came out, did you? So then he, scrolls past Candace's number to this number. Her name is Gretchen. And so he calls Gretchen And, you know, he told her he's in Detroit. She's like, oh, well, you know what? I'll come over. He's like, no, 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 no. You don't have to do that. She says, I'm coming over. I'm like, you knew what you were doing when you called her, Charles, so why are you playing this game? So let's move over to David and Jeffrey. So David and Jeffrey make it over to the Crier house. You know, when it comes to Jeffrey, Jeffrey is just really stupid to me. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think Jeffrey is stupid. The fact that he's in love, well, I don't know if he, I mean, I don't, yeah. The fact that he has these feelings for Wyatt, who's one, straight, two, he's a drug addict, and three, he's just plumb fucking crazy. I mean, yeah. Don't understand it. So, like I said, they show up to the Criers, and David is asking what's going on with Jim. George tells him, like, you know, we don't really know right now. We don't know what's going on with Jim, but what we do know is that Jim is at the hospital. So he's like, is he alive? Again, we don't know shit right now. So calm the fuck down, David. So then, you know, George tells him that, you know, that they got Katherine under arrest, and he's like, what is she under arrest for? The murder of Jennifer Salison. And then, you know, we see Jeffrey trying to reason and talk with Jeffrey's, but Wyatt's high ass. And he's telling Wyatt to be quiet and whatnot, but he's still, you know, Wyatt is over there talking about, I killed Jim Crier. I'm like, Wyatt, shut the fuck up. Like, do you and Katherine, I know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Have y'all never heard that? I'm questioning Jim and Katherine. So, not Jim, Wyatt and Katherine. I don't know why I'm getting my names mixed up tonight, but I'm just questioning those two, especially Katherine. Your father was a judge. Now Wyatt, I'm gonna leave it alone because Wyatt is high as fuck, so I'm not gonna go too deep into Wyatt. But Katherine, you should know a little bit better, my dear. So then we see, you know, David. He's like a broken record this whole episode. Well, this whole scene. He's asking questions about Jim, and I'm just like, what the fuck cares about Jim? So then he finds out that it was Wyatt who shot him, and he shot him with a shotgun. But thankfully, the shells were made for quail hunting. I'm like, really? This is what we come up with? Quail hunting for... Okay, cool. So then Hannah comes in there where David is, and she starts to question David. Like, she's like, you know, I know you and Jim are, you know, good buddies. And, you know, if Jim sent somebody after my son, you would know who he sent. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Hannah. She's like, he sent somebody after my son to kidnap him. So what I need you to do is for you to call those people and tell them, don't do it. He's like, again, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, Hannah, I think you're barking up the wrong tree right there, sister girl. Because she says, you know, Kansas is going to give the money back. And again, like I said, I just think you're barking up the wrong tree. So then David walks outside, and they go up to the car where Wyatt is, and Wyatt is still proclaiming and professing that he killed Jim. And Jeffrey and David are both trying to tell him to shut the fuck up, but then David is like, you know what, that's a lost cause, let's go, Jeffrey. I'm like, finally, someone says let's go, because he makes no fucking sense, he's stupid. Alright, you guys, so then we see our girl. You know, when it comes to Veronica, I love Veronica, but I also hate Veronica. In the same token, it's kind of like Victoria on the Oval. They are literally the same fucking person. So Veronica calls Derek, and she's telling Derek that she needs to talk to him. He's like, well, you can talk to me over the phone. She's like, no, I cannot talk to you over the phone. What you need to do is get your black ass over here to this house. He says, I'm not coming over there. She says, this is me saying I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Figure it out. You know, take a bus, take a helicopter, take a plane, do whatever the fuck you gotta do. But what you need to do is get your monkey ass over here to this house right about now. And Derek is like, fuck, bitch. You're right, she is a bitch. So then we see Charles and the girl Gretchen. She comes over, and Gretchen is a very beautiful girl, by the way. She is extremely pretty. So, you know, she's telling Charles how much she misses him and that she saw everything on the news. And, you know, she asked how all that happened. He's like, what are you talking about? She said, the girl Candace, how did that happen? And, you know, he's like, I don't really want to talk about that. So, you know, then she's like, her whole thing at this point was, let me get, you know, Charles to bed. She wanted to have sex with Charles so badly. You know, she's talking about she broke up with her boyfriend before she came over there. I'm like, wow, so you broke up with your boyfriend for Charles? Interesting. If that's what you broke up with your boyfriend for Charles. Kudos to you, sis. So then we see Landon. Landon is annoying as hell. So we see Landon, he's on the phone with someone, I didn't catch her name, and he's asking for some help with this whole Candace situation. And, at first, the woman on the phone, she wasn't reluctant to, doing what he was asking. And he said, well, didn't I help you, kill a story or something like that? And I'm pretty sure she said, so you blackmail? He says, no, that's not what I'm doing. So then, the woman does say, what, I guess she does eventually say, what, Landon, whatever you asked me before, you got it. So then we also see that the guy that he was blackmailing, Scott, he's there as well. Well, he comes in, and Landon wants to know what he has, wants some information on the Attorney General. And at first, Scott says, what, I'm not going to tell you. But then, Landon starts to play the card of, how's your wife, da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da. And so then that's when, Scott tells him the whole situation, that Candace stole a little less than $2,000 from the Attorney General. So everything that he did was basically to get back at her, and also to, kind of stick it to Charles as well. So, so then, once Scott leaves, we see Oliver come in, and Oliver tells him he'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, wow, so Charles is going to see Landon. Cool. And, Oliver tells not Charles, but tells Landon that you might not want to tell him about your plan with that girl. And, Landon's like, I know him. And I'm like, the back of my hand. Really? You and Jeffrey and being in love with straight men don't make no kind of sense whatsoever. But let's move on, and I digress. Alright, so then we see Mitch and Benny. So Mitch and Benny are at the strip club. Benny notices that, hey, I don't have my cell phone. Let me go to the car and get my phone. Mitch is like, bruh, you got a stripper's ass right in your face. You worried about your phone, and I know you worried about your mama, but you got a whole ass in front of you, and you worried about your phone. And then he looks over, he's like, yeah, man, you right. And then he's like, what, you got your phone? He says, okay, I'm going to power my phone down. So then the stripper wants to give Benny a lap dance in private. Benny's like, well, I ain't got no money. She says, oh, no, this is free. And I'm just like, so you really believe that a stripper is going to give you a lap dance for free? And she don't want something in return? Come on, Benny. Be smarter than that. So when she leads Benny away, there's two guys that are standing on the side of on the side, and Mitch notices them, and I'm like, oh, so how did Jim? This makes no sense, because I know that this is Jim's plan to kidnap him. So did he like have the guys follow him, and if the guys tell the girl like, hey, I need you to do this for us, like there's a guy that's like that guy that's right there, we need you to drug him. Like I'm drawing some blanks right there right about now. So then we see Rocky. So he goes over to Broderick's place with his cut, because Broderick is like, so you still running the girls? He's like, yeah, I'm still running them girls. So then Rocky questions, is he gonna continue to stay there at at that apartment? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna still stay here. He says, the thing is, I found a deed and this place is paid off. And Rocky tells him, like, don't play with fire. And I'm like, exactly, you are playing with a fire. You're gonna get seriously burned. So, they also talk about the FBI guy, and how he was only after Candace, so he's gone now. And it's free and clear for Roger to come back. So then he asks about RK again, and he says, that kid is probably long gone. I wonder if RK is dead. Like, I really wonder if RK is dead. Because here's the thing. We're going to go off on just a small little tangent. So, 3 people got shot at the Crier's house. Katherine didn't get shot. Jim got shot, and Wyatt got shot. Who's the third person that got shot? It's just, I'm wondering who is the third person. Unless they're trying to say that they thought Katherine was shot, but she wasn't shot. Questions that need some answers. So then we see Charles, so he did end up sleeping with Gretchen. And, Gretchen's like, why don't you call Candace? Because you kept calling Candace's name this whole time. He's like, no, I didn't. She said, yes, she did. You did it twice. And, she tells him, like, why don't you, since you miss her, why don't you try to fix the whole situation with her? He was like, he's talking about he can't do it. She's like, she doesn't have the money that you have, and she doesn't have the super PACs like you had to clean it up. But you can help this girl if you care about her that much. Help her out. And then I'm pretty positive. I think she called. I thought I heard her call Candace a hoe. I thought that's what I heard her say. I could have been wrong, but I know you ain't gonna disrespect my Candace like that. Is what you not gonna do, little girl. You're not gonna disrespect my Candace. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So Benny is in the back getting a lap dance from the girl. He's now questioning her, like, why are you doing this for free? And she's like, it's not all for you. Yeah, it ain't all for him. It's for you because you getting some money from somebody who's telling you to drug him because she does spike his drink. And I'm just like, oh, Benny, how did you fall for that? Like, if she has your drink in her hand, don't let her lock her arms around you, cause that'll give her ample time to do what she did and just go boom and throw something in your drink. But it's Benny. What can you fucking expect from Benny? But yeah, she came up with a whole lie about why she was doing this. So then over at the hospital, we see Jim is brought into the ER. Celine sees, and Selena's like, what is he doing here? And Madison's like, I can't tell you that. She's like, that's Jim Cryer. He's like, how do you know Jim Cryer? She's like, I have two of his kids. And, he tells her, oh, well, it's a gunshot wound. I'm like, wow. You don't really, you know she works here, but you don't really know that she's telling you the truth, that she has two kids by Jim Cryer. But, whatever. It is what it is. So then we see Candace. Candace is at the strip club, and she calls Hannah because she's telling Hannah, like, I haven't been able to find Benny, but I know another place he might go. I mean, this is the club that him and, Mitch come to, but I know somewhere else he might go to. So I'm going to go check that out. So she asks her, like, so where are you at? She says, I'm still at the Cryers. She says, how was Jim? She says, girl, this is the second time you've asked me about Jim. Why? And she doesn't say. I'm like, Candace, please don't tell me you have some sort of feelings for Jim. Like, please don't have any feelings for Jim. Oh my God, Candace, please don't. Like, that's all I ask of you, not to have any remote feelings for that asshole. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So then we see over in Landon's room, Oliver comes back, and Oliver is telling him about the drama that's happening in Savannah at the Cryer house and at the Harrington house. So, once he leaves, he calls Jeffrey on the phone. He's checking on Jeffrey to see how Jeffrey is. Jeffrey says, oh, we're good. We're just at the hospital right now. And, Landon still has a little thing for Jeffrey. And I'm just like, I don't know how you would have a thing for Jeffrey. Jeffrey is a complete dick to you. Now, granted, you've done some things, but now, yeah, I just couldn't. I can't imagine why he still has feelings for Jeffrey. I don't get why. I don't get what it is between Landon and Jeffrey and Justin having feelings. I just don't get it. Y'all do realize he's still hung up on someone he can never have, which is Wyatt. And again, I just don't know why I don't know why he's hung up on Wyatt. It's unfathomable. Like, I just never quite completely understand what it is about Wyatt. Wyatt is a drug addict. I just never understand what it is about it. So then we see Veronica. So Derek shows up at her house. She's mad as fuck. She's mad because Rel is going around clocking her and spilling her tea about the bomb. So she's like, you know what? I want to know everything there is to know about Rel. Who his mama is, his sisters, his family, his friends, that. And Derek is like, Veronica, I ain't help you do shit. She's like, oh, you seem to believe that I'm really asking. I'm telling you, you're gonna help me. Like, if you don't do that, I'm gonna send you back to jail. He's like, I don't care about that. And she said, okay, I'm gonna give you one better. If you don't help me, I'm gonna go after your loved ones. I'm like, oh, you know what? So, let's see. We all know that Veronica is not going to do anything herself. She will never get her hands dirty. So I would challenge her just a little bit. I would challenge her because, like I said, we all know Veronica Harrington is not going to do anything to get her little hands dirty. She's gonna hire other people to do her dirty work. So I mean, go find somebody else to take me out and my family. Go find them. She could find them, but I mean, yeah, like do that. So let's close out the episode back at the strip club. So at the strip club, there's this girl that's dancing for Mitch, and she knows that he keeps looking toward the back. She's like, "So why you keep looking back there like yo?" He's like, "Yo," she's like, "You want to go back there with your friend?" He was like, "Yeah." I mean, he was like, "Nah." He said, "But it's free back there." She's like, "We don't do nothing around here for free." He said, "But your girl just took my homie back there, and she said it was free." This is again, nothing free happens here, and if it is, he gonna have to pay for it in some way, shape, or form. And I'm like, oh shit! Like you didn't catch it. You didn't like who? What stripper gonna sit here and say I'm gonna give you a lap dance for fucking free? Y'all gotta be stupid to believe that shit. But that was the haves and have-nots, you guys. So be sure to like this video, leave your comments down below, share this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. And also, if you guys want to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at JB_the_CEO on Twitter. I am on Instagram at Jbsayzwhat, just like it is on here. And I am also on Snapchat as Mr. GB_it is to you. So until tomorrow for Black King Crew Chicago and the mid-season finale of the Oval, I will catch you guys later.